And to break it all down for us is our political contributor, Trimmel Gomes. Trimmel, things certainly getting heated over the LIP funds. Talk about this.
Well, the low-income pool, that's how come we're in this special session in the first place. It got crazy over Medicaid expansion. The House was completely resistant to it. The Senate was more amenable to it, and they came up with their own plan, but the House was so adamant that we got ourselves in this position. They were so determined to not expand Medicaid. So the low-income pool, that's how come we're here in this special session in the first place.
Okay, so now that things are winding down and everything, what's included in this budget now?
Well, what they had to do to patch up this budget was to reduce some of the tax cuts that the governor and the House really wanted. Instead of the $700+ million, it was reduced to $400 million, so where that $400 would go into patching up and make up for what was not going to be coming down from the federal government to help those who are uninsured or underinsured here in Florida.
All right, and what's being left out now?
Well, environmentalists are upset because conservation programs are not being fully funded, something that they said the voters overwhelmingly approved through Amendment 1. It's getting some funding, but not enough. They're saying it's just a drop in the bucket, and while they're upset, they're hopeful that lawmakers will do more to use some of those dollars to go into buying more land as opposed to funding agency existing programs.
Okay, and the vote taking place tomorrow at 5:38.
Yes, tomorrow, 5:37, 5:38. It's just that the ceremony, the required 72-hour cooling off period for the budget. And as you saw, they debated the budget today, so tomorrow is when that required period is over for them to approve and go forward with this. And then it's up to the governor. He has the line item veto power to really, if he chooses, to trim some of those items. Pet projects that were really gone into the budget to fund those member projects in their home districts. That snuck in there last minute. There's a tendency for that to happen during the final days of session.
Okay, and what are some of the issues that are going to be held over for next year?
Oh, health care. Health care is going to be held over since it didn't really take care of it this year. The federal government, and as we heard from Janet Cruz, like, you know, the federal government has been warning the state that Medicaid and the LIP program was not going to be funded as is from a year ago, and they hadn't done anything to prepare for that. And it will continue to be scaled down in future years. So the legislature really needs to address this. Otherwise, we'll be back in this situation again, trying to figure out how to make up for what the federal government will no longer be sending down to the state.
Okay, so after tomorrow, the lawmakers going home for the summer,
yes,
and everything will be wrapping up for now, at least. We'll have a state budget. Yes, we'll have a state budget that keeps the state going and to avoid that partial government shutdown. So, which we would not want.
We would not want. We need our police officers out there and state agencies running to keep this great state going forward.
All right. Thanks a lot, Trimmel.
Thanks for having me.
And it's time now to check in with meteorologist Alex Cordero. Alex?